So we've had a little bit of fun here shooting our robots and being left with the dead bodies left around, but there's one kind of problem visually with this, is the robots kind of look a bit awkward with their arms kind of hanging down through the floor. They appear kind of random parts, but at the same time they also still just look like the robots themselves. They just look like they've fallen over. They don't really seem like they've had any impact on the world. I don't know why these guys are speeding up as they're going there. That doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. We'll deal with that in a bit. But as I said, they kind of look like just like normal robots falling over. So let's make some changes to that. What we can do with some very simple tools within Unity is just make them fall into different pieces. This is why we have our robots set up as various different pieces here already, rather than just a solid sprite animation. We have all these different pieces, so we can take advantage of that and make our robot explode into a variety of different pieces within our world. If we go into our art folder, we have some damaged versions of all the robots here, of all the different pieces. So we're going to make our robot, first of all, change into a version with all these damaged pieces, and then we'll make him explode into a variety of different parts. So first thing we'll do is actually make the robot transform into a dead version with all these different robot parts. So the way we'll do that is we'll obviously go back to our enemy health script. We'll open this up here and monodevelop here. So we already have a reference to all the different body parts of the object of the robot up here in our sprite renderer. So what we can do is create an array of the new broken parts, and then we can just, when our robot dies, we can just change all the parts to the broken parts. So we're going to create a new public, rather than a sprite renderer array, just an array of sprites. So we say sprite, and then we'll make it an array with 2 boxes, and we're going to call it our broken parts array. So these will be all the broken parts, and we're basically just going to apply them to the different body parts here. And it's going to be very simple. All we have to do is as soon as our player dies, we want to set all the pieces to be the broken versions. So we can just loop through the body parts array and change all of the pieces. So we can just say a new for loop. Again, we'll just use the kind of standard way of start with a basic int with a value of 0, as long as our int value is less than the body parts array, the length of it. As long as it's less than all those parts, we will increment our int value by 1. So it's just I++ going up 1 piece at a time. So we can just go through our body parts array 1 piece at a time, so using I as the value, and we can say on our body parts we want to set whatever sprite is currently set on that particular body part. So it'll be body part 0. If we just go back in here to our robot, go down to, so we have our body parts array here. So on body part 0 we want to get the body and switch that out for the broken body, and we want to get the head, switch that out for the broken head, and so on. So what we're actually going to do is make sure that each one of these sprites lines up with the correct piece of the body when we create our broken parts array. We'll see that once we go back to doing that within Unity. But basically what I'm going to say, our body part sprite should be equal to our broken parts array, whatever the same I value is within that array. So we can just save that. But one thing we also want to do here is we don't want this to happen every single update loop. The same as we don't really want to be disabling all this stuff every single update loop the whole time. So what we can do is just add a simple little bool into the script. We'll say we're not even public, we'll just make it a private bool that we'll just call dead, just for simple sake. And all we'll do is add a check in here if our current health is less than or equal to 0 and we are not dead. Then what we'll do is go through all this stuff, and at the end of it say, okay, now we are dead, so we don't want to do anything else. So next time around it'll do the check. Our current health will be below 0, but we will no longer be not dead. So, oh sorry, down here we should say dead equals true. We're not just saying dead just for the fun of it. But on our next time running through the update, our current health, as I said, will be 0. We will no longer be not dead, so it won't do any of this stuff here. So we'll just save that, go back into the game, and we're going to need to set up those broken sprites into our broken pieces array here, which will appear as soon as our compiling is done. So there we go, we got our broken parts. So what we'll do is go into our art, we will open this up here, and like I said, we want to make sure that all of these, just for simpleness sake, are matched up to all the various different pieces properly. So we have our body first, so our broken body will be this piece here. We're going to drop that onto our broken parts array and we'll pop it in there. Next will be our head, so our broken head, we're going to drop that in there. Then our 2 arms and then our 2 legs. Now the arms don't really matter too much. If they're not exactly right, nobody's really going to notice. People will notice though if our arm is suddenly being replaced into our head and such like that. That's not really going to be very useful. So we'll grab our legs, 2 legs next, and there we go, we have our different body parts all set up. So we're going to apply those changes to make sure they happen to all the other robots too. And now we can see we'll be ending with some broken versions of our robots. So immediately there's that little bit different. They're all broken just the way we want, so that's kind of more interesting. Our robots are kind of destroyed, so again, it adds that little bit of extra reality. But let's go that step further and take a look at exploding our robots and leaving a whole lot of bits of bodies lying around on the ground.